So we heard many good talks today about engineering, but today we're here to talk about design in open source. And I'm Nina, and joined by Leia, and we're both UX designers at Canonical. I don't think I have to convince anyone here about the importance of open software, how it accelerates innovation, and makes software more accessible. However, for a common person, it's still quite a niche concept. And it's quite generic perception that open source is hard to use. It can be quite overwhelming for new users, either because the learning curves are quite steep, or because the software itself caters to highly specialized audiences. So what should we do about it? Well, as designers, we think we could help. And it's not just us saying that. There has been a lot of research showing that UX can actually have a positive impact. So there has been a research that showed that companies focusing on user experience actually can achieve 200% increase in user adoption. But what do we really mean when we say design? We have a lot of different fields of design, and visual design is something that a lot of people think of when we say that. And usually it means branding, logo, illustrations. But when we talk about design, we actually talk about UX design. UX design looks at, well, user experience, which means looking at what the user is trying to achieve and how we can help them achieve with the least friction. We look at their entire journey, what problems are they trying to solve, and how we can help them with that. And then we have UI design. It can be sometimes the same people doing both things, but it can be also a bit more specialized. If UX design defines where the button should be, UI design will define how the button will look like and what the interaction with the button itself will feel like. And while we can talk more about it and how it can help, we thought, well, as UX designers and with a lot of maintainers being here, we can just help you become a little bit more UX savvy. So I'll hand it over to Leia, who will talk us through some actionable steps.
Yes. So first is your project description. This is very important because this is the entry point for new users and possible contributor. So you need to appeal to two different audiences with different needs. But overall, the main thing you need to do there is communicate why your project is important and why they should care. Then there is onboarding. So this is the first time a user will do anything with your project. So try to make it accessible and use that blank slate to communicate instruction to guide them through. Think about what they need to do to get value out of your project. So maybe they need to import some data, maybe they need to fill some forms. Try to think about how to make it easier for them to get started. Next is navigation, which is not just about menu. It's about how people find what they need and how to reach their goals. So to improve it, you need to understand who your users are, what they need, and what they're used to. Then you map the simplest path to help them get there without confusion. User testing and guide sorting are really helpful to understand how people really do these things. And then we also have feedback, which is really, really important, especially error messages. They make the difference between someone who's going to be a long-term user and someone who's just going to give up after the first problem. So when you build a tool, don't just think about the happy path. Think about what can go wrong and how you can guide the users through it, anticipate problems, and make things clear. And when you do send error messages, make sure that they don't disappear before someone can do anything about it. So these are just some of the ways you can make a project more accessible and attractive. If you want more design help with your projects, there are places where you can connect with designers, like contribute.design and opensourcedesign.com. Not .com, .net. You can also find some tips on canonical.design, but for today, you can also come talk to us. We will be in one of the rooms over there, and we will be very happy to help you out if you have any UX problems. So thank you.